Welcome to First News at 10. I'm Maureen Kane.
And I'm Scott McLinden. More cases of West Nile have been reported here in Grayson County, and test results are now in weeks after Grayson County health officials sent off the first batch of mosquito samples. Victoria Moranin is now live in the studio to tell us their findings. Victoria? Stocks snapping a two-day losing streak after that positive housing news. The Dow rose 13 points, the Nasdaq added nearly 5, and the S&P gained nearly 2 points today.
The space shuttle Endeavour took off for its final journey today. The shuttle, riding piggyback on a 747 jumbo jet, is making a one-day stop at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston. It's traveling from Florida's Kennedy Space Center to Edwards Air Force Base in California. Endeavour will eventually be put on display at the California Science Center in Los Angeles. The shuttle flew 25 missions, covering over 120 million miles.
Not all beer is bipartisan in Oklahoma. A liquor shop in Broken Arrow is now selling No-Bama brew. It comes from Hubert Brewing Company in Oklahoma City. The store owner says it's become pretty popular.
They laugh about it, and then they buy one of them for their friends or buddies.
Used with the refreshing taste of patriotism and freedom. No word if they're going to make a Romney liqueur.
A Houston couple brought home the last of their sextuplets this week.
It's exciting and a little nerve-wracking too, just to have 6, and then she has some special needs, so that makes it a little more challenging.
Lauren and David Perkins' 6 babies were born in April, 10 weeks premature. The last to leave the hospital, Leah, has already been through a few major surgeries for intestinal problems. It took a team of 35 doctors to deliver those babies. And Scott, you've got 1. Can you imagine 6 at one
No,
time?
I cannot, because this morning my wife and I were looking at each other saying, how can we even get 1 off to school on time? Almost impossible. I can't imagine what 6 is like.
Tough job being a parent.
It's a tough job, indeed. Coming up next in sports, the Rangers have a hard time in Anaheim as the division race heats up down the stretch.
Plus, Boomer Sooner. OU gets ready for their top 15 showdown with K-State. Sports is next. Welcome back. Just because your child is in a car seat doesn't mean they're safe. TxDOT says 75% of safety seats are not properly installed. So today, Cook County hosted a car seat checkpoint as part of TxDOT's Save Me with a Seat campaign. Emergency responders were on hand to show parents how to install a car seat, because if it's not installed properly, it could be dangerous.
You take the child out and you can get a hold of that car seat and pull it in the floorboard, and you know that in the event of a crash, that child would be either killed or seriously injured. And for more about car seat safety, just look for the link on our web channel at kxii.com. A new study shows that kids are eating way too much salt on a daily basis, by the same amount that's in a Big Mac. The CDC studied what thousands of kids are eating over a 5-year span. They found that children eat 1,000 more milligrams of sodium each day than what's suggested. That extra sodium is linked to higher blood pressure and hypertension. To avoid salty foods at grocery stores, check the potassium-sodium ratio on the labels. Potassium can help absorb all that salt. Also, don't be fooled by deceivingly healthy foods like some breads, granola bars, and juices. They too can pack plenty of sodium. Fresh, non-processed foods are your best bet for less salt. A new study shows adding more yogurt to your diet may help lower your risk of high blood pressure. Boston researchers followed more than 2,000 volunteers for 15 years. They found people who ate yogurt were much less likely to develop high blood pressure, which is a risk factor for heart disease and stroke. Yogurt is packed with vitamins and minerals, including potassium, which some experts say may help flush sodium out of the body. Welcome back. A 1,600-year-old document translated for the very first time refers to Jesus talking about having a wife. This papyrus dates back to the 4th century. The text is in the Coptic language, spoken in ancient Egypt. One line says, quote, "Jesus said to them, 'My wife,' and another, 'She can be my disciple.'" The discovery was made public in Rome by Dr. Karen King, a Harvard professor. She says this doesn't prove that Jesus had a wife, only that early Christians debated whether he did.
It is the only extant piece of early Christian literature where Jesus talks about having a wife.
When or how the document was discovered is still unknown.
One of London's most dangerous neighborhoods is turning to babies to help fight crime. Look at this. A unique experiment is underway to find out if what you see can really influence what you do. When the security shutters come down in this rough neighborhood of southeast London, there are baby faces all around. Store owners hope the images will keep criminals away. Doctors at the University of Pennsylvania found big eyes and chubby cheeks trigger a caring response in the brain.
The system that drives human motivation is increasing its activity when shown more of those baby features.
An advertising agency paid local graffiti artists to paint these baby faces on the shop shutters. It'll be interesting to see if it works. We need some of those faces painted around here to maybe keep the crickets out.
Perhaps that would work. Cute eyes and chubby cheeks.
That's right, exactly. Coming up next in sports, a big game coming up for Plainview and Medill with the driver's seat to the district title up for grabs.
And the head coach of the Hogs loses his mind behind the mic. Sports is next. David Reed joining us now with sports. And Scott, I know you were really upset about some news from TCU today.
Normally I'm very excited to see David today. You're the bearer of bad news about a Sherman Bearcat.
That's right. Some tough news at TCU and for the Sherman Bearcats. Coming up next in sports, the Sooners get ready for K-State. An Arkansas coach loses his mind behind the microphone. And a huge hit to TCU's offense as a former Sherman Bearcat is done for the season. Sports is next.
Monteith says the mosquito control chemicals are available to any city in Carter County that's licensed to spray.
And turning to weather now, a cool start this morning, but downright warmer by tomorrow afternoon. Steve's here with the details. Steve.
First in high definition, broadcasting live from KXII TV. This is First News at 6.
He said, "How about you give me that purse?" And then stuck his hand out that had the knife in it.
Thanks to some quick-thinking men, the thief didn't get away.
Still to come on First News at 5, a final cross-country journey for Space Shuttle Endeavour.
Plus, a Texas couple brings home a handful, the sextuplets, coming right up.
And the Plainview Indians take on the Medill Wildcats on Friday. Winner could have the inside track to the district title. That's later in sports.